You hear when the bird goes early in the morning, chirp, chirp.
Who's that guy?
BG Warrior.
Dean Schultz. I'm from South Dakota. We didn't have any football team in South Dakota.
Arizona Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Let's go.
South Dakota.
Arizona Cardinals.
Who's that guy?
My name's Ryan. Some people call me Crazy Bird. Crazy Bird.
Chirp, chirp. Let him know.
You didn't know? Now you know. Who are we? We the Bird Gang.
Lena, how did the birds go again?
Chirp, chirp.
Chirp, chirp. That's what we're doing, right? What's up, Arizona? Welcome into 12 Sports Locker Room, the draft special. I'm Cameron Cox. That's Lena Washington. Jake Garcia is going to join us here in just a moment. Does defense really win the draft for the Cardinals? Our insiders going to keep it real on this one.
This is your draft headquarters. Plus, we check the pulse of social media, the Bird Gang, of course, chirping, and we have big names on the show. We're one-on-one with Kyler Murray and Patrick Peterson a little later.
Here we go. Let's get some instant reactions. 6 of their 7 draft picks on defense. Giamatti Ossenfort sounds off on why they were mostly defensive guys in this draft.
That's just how it worked out. Wasn't the plan at all. We stick to the philosophy of staying true to our board. We set our free agency board much like we set our draft board. You try to pick the best spots where we're going to expend our resources. Obviously, we wanted to get better on the defensive front. There's no question about that. So we had some opportunities to do that. Our needs matched up with what the supply was in free agency, and then kind of continued that through the draft.
Now, out at the Cardinals draft watch party in Glendale, thousands of fans were celebrating the selection of defensive tackle Walter Nolen III out of Ole Miss with the 16th overall pick. The Cards revamped their D-line in the offseason, bringing this rookie into a room with Calais Campbell, Josh Sweat, Dalvin Tomlinson, and last year's first-round pick, Darius Robinson. Now that Nolen's NFL dream is a reality, it's time to get to work.
So without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to the newest member of the Bird Gang, Mr. Walter Nolen III.
What would you go back in time and tell yourself about this moment or what it took to get here?
I just tell my younger self it's time to get started. For me, half the battle was getting to the league, and now it's time for me to achieve my ultimate goal of win the Super Bowls and get that gold jacket on my way out.
Walter Nolen III might be soft-spoken, but turn on the tape and his play speaks for itself.
Violent, disruptive, high motor, tenacious, 3-down player. Hard to find those guys that can affect the pocket.
Why he fits as a Cardinal, he's got a huge heart. He cares about his teammates and he wants to maximize himself. And when you show us that from all our different ways that we find that information, sign him up.
General Manager Monty Ossenfort had the Cardinals scouting Nolen through the fall. They met with him at the NFL Combine and brought him to Tempe for a 30 visit. Head coach Jonathan Gannon giddy to have gained this game wrecker in the first round.
The perfect world was getting in my car and having Walter Nolen on our team. I don't know what narratives are out there or anything like that. I make up my own mind, and this guy's a Cardinal 1,000%. So I'm glad we got to add him.
Arizona's front office sees tremendous upside with Nolen, who adds much-needed depth to the D-line. Now that the draft day dust has settled, the 21-year-old is ready to develop into the next big thing here in the desert.
It kind of felt like a little weight lifted off my shoulders a little bit. Now that I can get back to football, and to help the Bird Gang win as much as possible.
There we go. I like this guy. All right, fitting Cardinals great Patrick Peterson made this announcement live on TV. Cardinals taking quarterback Will Johnson out of Michigan in the second round. Many are calling this the steal of the draft. Johnson is elite, rated one of the top prospects in the draft, but fell to round 2 due to medical concerns. Good news. Says he's healthy now. He's a little mad.
We make the pick with Will. And immediately my phone blows up with a bunch of guys on our team. You name it. Super excited to add this guy, right? And I get a text from Walter. He says, send me Will's number. Like, unprovoked, awesome. You know what I mean? So I sent him the number. I said, he's honestly a little pissed, where he got drafted. He's disappointed, And then I said something to Walt, and he goes, "Don't worry, Coach. Well, I'll talk to him." You know what I mean? And it's like that. Like those things go unnoticed, but this was going to be a close group. We're going to continue to add people that add to that.
I like it, Lena. I like it.
Yeah. In the third round, they drafted outside linebacker Jordan Burch, 11.5 sacks in 2 seasons at Oregon. Think of all the additions to the Cardinals' pass rush, right? Josh Sweat, Calais Campbell, Dalvin Tomlinson, Walter Nolan, and a fully healthy Darius Robinson. Talk about getting pressure on the quarterback, right? This group is going to be special.
Yeah, I like a pair of Ohio State players with their 4th and 5th round picks. Good strategy, adding 2 pieces from defenses that win national championships, right? Linebacker Cody Simon was the first. He's a monster. Followed by former Saguaro DB, all-fever guy, Denzel Burke. You got Hayden Connor, a guard from Texas that was the only offensive player taken right in this draft. Then his former teammate at Texas turned Nevada transfer Keaton Crawford rounds out the Cardinals draft class. Crawford, by the way, going to be a big-time special teams player for the Cardinals. 3 of their last 4 picks spent on defensive players. Johnson and Simon, by the way, back-to-back MVPs of that championship game on defense. Simon called the defense for the Buckeyes last season. Cardinals added 6 new rookies to that unit that has really struggled to get after the quarterback in recent years. Joining us now to break down all things Cardinals draft. Look at this foursome right here, guys. How cool is this? We had to get a wider shot here on the desk. We got Mark May, Doug Franz here to join with us. Mark, we'll start with you. What did you make of the Cardinals draft and the grade for us?
I thought it was a decent draft. I gave them a C+ on it, and the reasons why is because it's a fluid situation. You don't know about the players that they have injuries. They had injuries in college, where they're going to play, if they're going to be able to pick it up and turn on the NFL. And there's a big transition period from college football to the National Football League. Will they pick that up? If you look at this Cardinals team, there are too many new faces on this team. How do you build continuity? How do you build that team in a short period of time before the season starts? So there's a lot of questions to be answered coming up.
Man, I think Cardinal fans thought it was a little higher. C+, Doug.
Hey, C's to get degrees, right? That's passing.
I said it was fluid.
Yeah.
It's fluid.
I'm a little higher than Mark, but not much. I would go with a B-. My reason why is I like a lot of the picks other than the first-round pick. A lot of these guys I think are great, and I don't mind what Mark was talking about. I think we can challenge those injuries and be able to push through, especially the corner from Michigan, Will Johnson. I like that pick. I would have even doubled down when you talk about injuries. I would have chosen Josh Simmons, the tackle out of Ohio State, and let him get better later. I would have been fine with that. That's why I go B-, because I don't like the pick of Walter Nolan. I don't hate him. I don't think he's going to be terrible. It's just, to me, there were about 3 or 4 other guys I think that I have a lot higher that would have been a better fit.
Nationally, really, there's a narrative about Walter Nolan's drive, his character. Jonathan Gannon was adamant that he's a good guy, and Walter Nolan said in his introductory press conference, if you're my dog, I'll give you this shirt off my back. But if you both could expand on maybe reservations or expectations you have for Nolan, maybe starting with you, Doug. You said you didn't like the pick. Tell us why.
Well, when you said, he's a great guy, so am I when I'm laying in my recliner chair. I'm a good guy too. And
how do we get you out of that chair, by the way?
It's hard to do. And then when Jonathan Gannon said that weird thing, well, just watch the tape. Well, I guess they don't have Texas A&M tape. I kind of agree with him at Ole Miss. I thought he was okay at Ole Miss. But his Texas A&M tape, he played as hard as I do as a 50-year-old man. It just didn't make sense to ignore that portion. So I don't think there's enough there intensity-wise for me. But I do agree he got better at Ole Miss.
Well, Mark, what do you think about his motor? I mean, we know motor and violence is what Monty and Jonathan Gannon focus on when they're looking for a player.
Well, first and foremost, I'm shocked that Doug's only 50. But besides that, Louis Riddick at ESPN, I have a lot of admiration for Louis Riddick because he's done a terrific job not only as a player, but as an assistant coach, in the front office, as a general manager. Here's a guy that knows players and breaks them down. The first thing he said was, this player's a loafer, which means he takes plays off. Now, when somebody in a front office position says that about a player, he's not going in the first round, in my opinion. Because how do you get that out of him? If he loafed in high school, if he loafed in college, if he loafed in another school in college, what's he going to do when he gets to the NFL? It's like, hey, we drafted this guy. We're going to be able to—
6 schools in 7 years.
We're going to be able to fix this guy where no one else could. So you've got to prove it to me now. He's got a big load to carry the first day he comes out in training camp, because he's got to show them it's not just one play here or there. It's the consistency. That's what makes you a good player and a great player in the NFL. Can you bring it 100% each and every down?
And on top of your point, Nick Saban added the other quote when he said, when this guy wants to play, he could be the best inside interior rusher and run defender in the game. That's strong. But whenever you tag it at that beginning, when he wants to play, all that does is feed right into Mark's.
But then the flip side of this, guys, is does he have to be that right away? Like, look at the room that he's joining and the leaders he's going to get to learn from. Like, he can grow at his own pace, kind of like what JG was talking about. When you're behind the guys they signed in the offseason, Calais Campbell, Dalvin Tomlinson, guys who've already been there too as well. Darius Robinson still has to learn. He doesn't have to be a superhero day one. He can just come in and be effective, kind of like Jalen Carter was for the Eagles.
He's got to be accountable on that from day one. I don't care if you're a rotation player to give guys a break. You've got to be accountable each and every down because they're depending on you. This is a National Football League. If you can't play up to the expectations, guess what? You're going to be on another team, and that coaching staff's going to be fired.
You got to prove it.
Yeah, you're a first rounder. You're expected to contribute. You're expected to show up. And like you said, those players are expected to hold him accountable as the new kid in that room. A lot of expectations in that room, let alone the team and the organization.
Well, and the other thing, Cam, like you're right, he doesn't have to carry the room. But the catch is, imagine at any employment situation in the world, and the first thing they say is, well, if this guy works hard, well, if she is committed. If that's the first thing out of somebody's mouth, that's already the reputation that's been built. There's already question marks there. That's the worst question mark you can possibly have.
All right, let's ask the biggest question of them all. You ready, Lena?
Let's do it.
Will they make the playoffs next year? Mark, we'll start with you.
I think they're going to go 9-8 just because they have a really weak schedule that they can work around, that they have a lot of games they're going to be favored in. And I think if this team stays healthy, they've got an opportunity to do that. But will it come together? One thing about this football team is I want to know what their identity is. Since they've been here as a coaching staff and front office, what are the Arizona Cardinals? What's their identity? What's the culture of this football team? If I can name a team like Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts in their defense, San Francisco 49ers, Shanahan.
Right.
You know, if you any team that you want to throw out there, you know, if you want to talk about just about any team that's in the National Football League, you can go to the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
They've been close.
They don't have that.
They've been close to establishing that identity, like being physical. But what you're saying is they're not. Nothing is set in stone. We're like, this is the way they play. This is the way they do it all the time. The running game has been there with James Conner, but it's still nothing. They haven't won a bunch.
Right. It's not where you're going to face this team and say that really scares me.
Well, the identity they want to establish is being a playoff team, being a playoff contender. Doug, do you see them extending their season this year?
No, I think Mark's got a great point about the schedule. That really is important. They play both South divisions, AFC South, NFC South. Those divisions are trash. So that's a very good chance of having a 6-2 record right there. And if you do that, that might be enough to put you into the playoffs. Plus, I think that the 49ers are rebuilding. I'm not ready to say the Seahawks are great. So you're going to be in the mix all the year. But the NFC North is real. The NFC East is better. To be able to say you are one of the top 3 teams that don't win their division and win a wild card, I don't think so. And that means you've got to win the division. I don't think so.
We'll see what happens. Guys, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it.
105th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Cam Skattebo, running back, Arizona State.
Cam Skattebo is going to New York, one of the first names off the board to start day 3. Scat was the 3rd pick out of the 4th round by the Giants. It marks the latest chapter in Scat's rise. He had no FBS offers out of high school, a small school outside of Sacramento. He started at Sac State, then exploded here in the Valley at ASU. He was quick to credit head coach Kenny Dillingham for helping him achieve his NFL dream.
I'm gonna miss him.
Having him in the building and him as a coach and, you know, most importantly, as a person, you know, I connected with him as a person. You know, he's my friend now, and I'll always forever be in his corner, and I know he'll be in mine. So, you know, that's someone that, you know, I love dearly, and I care for him a lot. So I'm excited for his future, and, you know, hopefully he's excited for mine.
The Valley is Scat's friend.
Absolutely. He's gained a lot of Giants fans just with that.
Speaking of local kids, you know we're all about the local kids right here. Friday Night Fever, Arizona's longest running high school football show. During the draft, number of former Fever stars heard their names called. Jake Garcia here with more. What's up, Jake?
Yeah, Cam, I don't have to tell you this, but Arizona has exploded into a high school football haven in recent decades. Seen in the number of 3, 4, and 5-star recruits who go on to play college football. And it's also seen each year in the NFL draft. In 2025, add 4 more to the Phoenix to professional pipeline.
With the 40th pick in the 2025 NFL draft.
With the 53rd pick in the NFL 2025 draft.
The New Orleans Saints select.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers select.
Tyler Shuck.
Benjamin Morrison.
The local floodgates let loose in the 2nd round of the NFL draft. Local products who are now pros. Hamilton's Tyler Shuck heard his name called first, but at 25 years old and the oldest quarterback in the class, it felt like he'd been waiting forever.
You didn't think, maybe it was possible when you're getting carted off the field, and but you kind of have that self-belief and the support around you.
Shuck dealt with a litany of injuries throughout college, but says he's stronger for it. Right down the road, Benjamin Morrison is singing a similar tune. The former Brophy DB had a first-round grade at the start of the season, but fell to day 2 after health problems with his hip.
It was a difficult year, and for me, it just feels like I can finally win again. You know what I'm saying? I finally got that small win.
Morrison now a Florida man. A workout at his old high school home earlier in the week proved critical.
I wasn't scared of showing what I could do, and I knew, even me at 80-85% is better than most people guys in the country, and I wasn't scared of doing that.
Brophy also helped build up the Cardinals' 5th-round pick. They supported local and drafted Denzel Burke. GM Monty Ossenfort said the high school tie is nice, but the college reps against Marvin Harrison Jr. were the ultimate selling point.
We said it when we were in there, nobody's had to have a tougher assignment in practice the last 4 years than Denzel Burke. The guys he's had to cover in practice, holy smokes.
Iron sharpened iron as well for newest Eagle Ty Robinson.
Since I was 10, they kind of introduced the idea that, this football life could be a real thing and I could go really far with it.
Robinson praised the support system at Higley for getting him to the pros. His prep tape might have involved a different position.
Y'all go back and look. I used to play tight end back in the day.
But his transformation into a D tackle is still the talk of the town.
He's a giant human being.
Robinson, a district champion back in 2017, he joins the defending Super Bowl champs for his first season in the NFL. Guys, one of my favorite things is going back and watching the old high school clips. You saw Robinson as a tight end. He's now a D tackle. And then Burke as a wide receiver. He's now a defensive back. It's really, these guys were the best player from their town in their school at the time, and now they're headed to the NFL.
We've covered them a long time. It's so great to see him. And Denzel Burke being home. It's great. Jake, thanks. We appreciate it. All right, ahead on 12 Sports Locker Room, the draft special. We are one-on-one with quarterback Kyler Murray. Lena, this is pretty cool. He's going to double down on his promise to win here. Plus, Doug and Mark are back to talk through some of the best draft storylines. Welcome back to 12 Sports Locker Room, the draft special. Doug, Franz, Mark May back with us. We're going to get their favorite draft storyline now that everything is done. Dougie, we'll start with you. What was your biggest takeaway from the draft?
Well, I got to go with 2 because number 1's easy. Shedeur. I mean, that's incredible. And to see the Cleveland Browns have 73 quarterbacks in their quarterback room right now. I mean, how do you not want to be intrigued and see what's going to happen? But I would say the other storyline that I absolutely love, and I can say this as an Ohioan, Travis Hunter has spent the last 5 months of his life thinking he's going to have to live in Cleveland. And all of a sudden, right before he takes the stage, he finds out, I just earned $3 million because there's no state income tax in Florida. I live near a beach, and I've got an up-and-coming team. The excitement for the Hunter family, it's got to be off the charts to not have to live in Cleveland.
And it will be so interesting to see how he plays. Can he play both sides of the ball right? How will that all work?
And he looked fresh on draft night. Yeah. Hot pink was popping.
You got a pink suit, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Just didn't wear it today. Didn't want to stunt on us.
You're never going to see me.
All right, there we go. Mark, what was your biggest takeaway?
It's got to be Shedeur Sanders. Everybody talked about that. But besides that, I think the SEC is still dominant because they have so many players drafted together. The Big Ten wasn't far behind. But the other story is locally, right here in Arizona. After this draft, when you looked at the first 7 picks, 6 were on defense. That kind of shows you that the administration upstairs is getting farther and farther away from Kyler Murray. Because if you look at the last 2 drafts that they were here, offensive lineman, wide receiver, players that Kyler Murray crossed off on and said, hey, I'll take those guys. I want those guys to come here and play. This draft, totally opposite. Now all of a sudden, the head coach again is going to stick around and say, I'm going to lead this group my way. My head's on the chopping block now. 3rd year we're here. We've got to get this thing going, and we've got to get to the playoffs. So I'm going to do it my way or the highway.
But in other words, what you're saying is they're doubling down on their offense. They're a lot of returners there. The skill positions, Trey McBride, most of the offensive line, James Conner, Kyler Murray, prove it. This is them actually having to go prove it.
I don't think about doubling down on offense because they still have holes on the offensive line. They still need quality depth there. The key is on this offense is you're looking at Kyler Murray. They're saying, we've got to build this defense up to be much better than it was last year because our offense is here, but our defense has to be here. We're not thinking our offense is great, but our offense is good enough and stable enough to possibly get us to the playoffs. But our defense has to be much, much better. And that's the way they went. And looking at Kyler Murray, the power that he's had in the organization, think about this. The last couple of years, guys, he's got all the money. So he's had all the power and all the influence on this team. Now you look at the coaching staff and you look at the general manager. After this draft, in my eyes, it's saying, no, we have the power. Yeah. We're taking over in this situation, and we're going to make decisions for this football team. So I think you're going to see a different Kyler Murray this season.
I'm not sure what's bigger, the rings that Mark are wearing or Doug's binder. Lena, you got to.
I mean, look at this. If you're looking for the Monty Ossenfort cookbook, this is a good place to start.
I love the draft.
Guys, same time again next year. We appreciate it.
Welcome back to the 12 Sports Locker Room Draft Special. Kyler, meet Walter. Walter, meet Kyler. Kyler Murray coming off to say hello to first-round draft pick Walter Nolan III and his family out here making the trip for day one in the desert. Lead by example, right? And be a good person. K1 doing both.
Lena, you just love to see that.
Absolutely.
By the way, hey, Kyler, want to have a catch? Only 12 Sports hanging out with Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray. K1 getting ready for his first ever celebrity softball game here in the Valley. Kyler in the community is a priority in year 7. And as you'll see, so is keeping his promise to you.
I don't like throwing baseball, I'm not going to lie to you.
Why is that?
Just because I throw a football.
So it feels weird?
Yeah.
Do you ever miss baseball?
Of course.
What do you miss about it?
Putting the uniform on, stepping in the box, mano-a-mano against the pitcher. It doesn't compare to what football, like the
feeling?
Yeah. Not at all.
Running for a touchdown, throwing a touchdown.
There's nothing like football.
You and your dad ever play catch like this?
No, not with baseball. Not anymore, no. I can remember back to when he first taught me how to throw the ball, like in my grandma's yard. Telephone poles, we would use the wires. He was teaching me how to, put touch over. And, I literally can see that, obviously that was like 20 years ago. But I remember like it was yesterday.
This softball game coming up, what's it going to mean to you to do something like this in this community? Teammates coming out too as well, all the support for your foundation. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, to have guys support me, obviously we're giving back. It's a great cause. It's a beautiful thing. I feel like I haven't done enough in that area of my life. So, in this community in Arizona, I think that, doing this annual, it will be a great thing. A lot of fans, a lot of little kids, people to interact with, guys that they look up to.
But these are like things you're interested in. I hear you're going to have chess out here, Madden too as well. Like these are things that you like that now fans get to enjoy too as well.
We want to make it, as enjoyable as possible. You don't want to just have people come out here and watch the game and just, go home. It's kind of a community day. Come here and, we get to, meet all the guys and, be able to sit down and play a game of Madden, play a game of chess, 2K, whatever it is. These kids love games. It's fun, it's interactive, and I think it'll be really enjoyable.
Larry used to do these back in the day, and I remember it used to be sold out. Yeah. The crowd would go nuts. He'd bring all his teammates, kind of like you're doing. Yeah. Good mix of old school, new school, right? What did Larry say? And I see he's coming, right?
He literally, I asked him if he wanted to play, and he was like, bro, it's thank you for asking me, but my playing days are over. That means a lot to me. Larry's the guy, Larry Legend for a reason. Obviously, when I got there, trying to soak up as much knowledge, information from him as possible, just watching him, the way he goes about his business and stuff like that. So for him to be able to take the time out and come out here and, spend the day with us means a lot.
Yeah, you're not a guy. No, that's how it works now.
Yeah. So I got to he's done more than me though. So I gotta fulfill my promise.
There we go.
Hopefully,
Which is what?
Bringing a bowl here, bringing a championship here.
Talk about that a lot. It's good. That's a good thing to talk about, right?
I'm not shying away from it at all. I know we're on the right track. I trust in JG and Monty. I like where we're headed.
What do you think you can do better moving forward? What would you like to see more out of you in year 7?
I feel like personally I haven't scratched the surface of what I can be in this league, so that's the frustrating part. We've only played in one playoff game since I got here, which is very frustrating. I'm still more motivated than ever. It's just fuel to the fire. Going into year 7, playing in the playoffs once, I don't believe that I'm a couch watching football type of guy. The fact that I haven't led us to that, I take a lot on my shoulders to perform in the moments where, I'm needed the most, you know what I mean? And
in other words, like doing it here for this team, this community, these fans, it means something to you.
Yeah, like if I could play my whole career here, finish it out here, like sign me up. Guys like Kobe played for one organization his whole career. That's something that I admire, and that's something I want to do. That's the type of guy I want to be remembered as.
Trey McBride getting that extension. Yeah. How high for Trey? And I love the chemistry you guys built last year. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see.
Man, I was super geeked. I was so geeked for Trey. For him to go from the kid that, was unsure of himself, rookie year, kind of messing things up, and we all do it. No one comes in freshman year, rookie year, and just is killing right away. But to see him now, he's correcting guys. You know, he's putting guys in position.
Sure.
And to see the plays that he's making, like it's night and day, and it's a beautiful thing to see. As real as possible. I love Trey, you know, and I love all my guys. So like to see him get rewarded for his work makes me emotional because he's, you know, like I said, the maturation. Yeah, I've seen it, and then it's like,
real time.
And I've been there. You know, I've been in that position. So you know, I'm super happy for him.
Kyler Murray, obviously, quarterback, Arizona Cardinals.
Kyler Murray going international, right? On the other side of the world, Murray visiting South Korea for the first time ever. It was really cool to follow from afar, and not only to see the reaction from people there, but to what it meant to people there.
Yeah.
Just how special was that to you to go and experience that? And was it what you expected? Was it more? Like,
no, it was more. It was more than what I expected. It was the best trip I've ever been on. Obviously, I'm a quarter Korean, but I hold it near and dear to my heart. You know, representing Korean, being a Korean. There's not many of us in the league. You know, to be able to go back there, man, I was super surprised that, like, I just being around and just people noticing me and, like, kids and just coming up to me trying to take pictures. Like, it was, that'll probably be another thing where I, you know, do that, you know, every other year or every year. Because, dude, I was out there for 11 days, and it was, usually I'm the type of guy, if I'm somewhere 3-4 days, I'm like, bro, I'm ready to go home.
That's enough,
you know,
right?
I was there for 11 days, and I could have stayed, like, 10 more. You know, that's just how I was feeling. Just the love there and just, you know, just felt comfortable, felt at home.
Yeah, how about vacation, Kyler, by the way? Great convo with Murray. The Kyler Murray Foundation softball game is coming up on May 17th out there at Salt River Fields. Tickets are just $25. Visit ticketweb.com or the KylerMurrayFoundation.org. Lena?
Thanks, Cam. Coming up next on 12 Sports Locker Room Draft Special, that feeling when you know you cooked. We look at some of the best social media reactions from draft week next.
Look at Monty. Welcome back to the 12 Sports Locker Room Draft Special. Cameron Cox, Lena Washington with you. Time for some social media reactions. Great tweet from our friend Alex Clancy over there at Locked On Cardinals. Drew Petzing like, where are all the offensive players at, right?
Like Will Smith on the final day of shooting for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But let's get some player reaction. How about Paris Johnson Jr.?
Yep.
Loving this draft. Cardinals baby actually caught up with him at the draft party. He's excited to welcome Walter Nolen to the Valley.
Speaking of Walter Nolen, quarterback Kyler Murray, also a big fan of their first-round pick. Yes, sir. Trench work. Welcome to AZ, big fella.
And how cool is this? Third-round pick Jordan Birch was high school teammates with Xavier Thomas. Now they're teammates in the pros. It all comes together full circle.
Look at them baby faces. Also, Xavier Thomas, he blew up after,
sure did.
after that. And finally, Lena, this story needs some more investigation. Buda Baker, on day 3 of the draft, went to chip a ball on a par 4 on the edge of the water today, slipped and fell in the pond.
Hey, as long as the lower body's okay. And
I was
he's
about to
healthy,
say, is he okay?
That's all we care about, Buddha.
We need to go golfing with Buda Baker. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Patrick Peterson. Welcome back, Lena. I absolutely love this. Look at Patrick Peterson.
Looking good, looking svelte.
Out there announcing the day 2 selections in Green Bay. Of course, we all know Peterson recently retired as a Cardinal after a 13-year career. The first 10 years right here in the Valley after being selected 5th overall back in 2011. A lot of great moments with P2. I talked to him one-on-one about most of them, and he has a message for you, the fans.
He'd be great. I'm sorry, watch him be legendary. Because a lot of great ones, few legendary, baby.
Easy work. 1, 2, 3.
I told these guys, you know, if you forgot what it looked like or you don't know what it looked like, just follow me.
Hey, hurry.
All right.
Well, Pat, first of all, congratulations on a fantastic career. To retire as a Cardinal, how would you sum up this moment?
Oh, man, this is everything that I dreamt of. Coming back here, you know, spending 10 years here as an Arizona Cardinal, it was only right for me to come back here and retire as a Cardinal because so much history here, you know, dreams, goals that I was able to accomplish during my 10 years here. So many relationships, the things I was able to, you know, get into throughout the community. This is truly home, so it was only right that I came back and retired as a Cardinal. Leather paint. So that's another thing that I love about this car. It's just very, very different. Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. The mic is clear. It's time for me to make plays today.
I just want to get a pick in the group.
P2 effect is definitely the real deal.
Patrick Peterson wins it for the Cardinals.
When I think of your time here, I think of a lot of things you did in the community. Your reading, you winning the bucket challenges over Carson, all the plays you made. Well, what are some of your favorite memories when you think back to your time with the Cardinals?
Oh, man, some of my favorite memories, I'll just give you a couple. Definitely the bucket challenge on Fridays. I really did look forward to those each and every week.
Because you got them.
I did. So I wasn't easy picking. So I love that aspect of it because we kept the team loose. Like, it was always fun. The guys always had something to look forward to when it was time to travel or to be at our stadium. The next thing is probably being able to tie the NFL record as a rookie in the punt return.
Matched up on Pat P. Allen back to throw, looking for Diggs. Instead steps up, throws deep middle, picked off. Peterson got that one.
I'm pretty comfortable right now. I might have to start taking interviews this week. But like I said, you guys butt rushed me a little bit. I was over here taking my tape off.
Welcome back! Welcome back! This is what they've been waiting on. Get back in my lockdown ways. I'm back.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of special moments and memories.
Hall of Fame legacy right there.
Yeah, I hope so. My fingers are crossed.
What comes to mind when you see this picture right here? Because that's also what I think of when I think of P2.
Yeah, man, the Magnificent Seven, man. That was and looking at that picture, man, that was a memorable group, man, with my boy Tony Jefferson, who was here today, Dayon Buchanan, who came in as a safety. We moved him to linebacker. Gerard Powers, you already know, Tyron Matthews, Rashard, the general of the group. That guy was so freaking smart, man. He just knew so much about the game of football, and I just really love going to prepare with Rashard each and every week because I learned so much from him.
What comes to mind when you see this picture? Because, Pat, we haven't seen a lot of this with the Cardinals, bringing back everybody, past, present, and future together on the stage. Like, how special is this moment to see?
That's very special, man, because, all of these guys, we had the opportunity to share the field together, except for one, Mr. Roy Green. When you have the opportunity to get guys together in that fashion, you want to be able to take advantage of it because you don't see it, very often. And I know that's something that Mr. Bidwell and the Arizona Cardinals community want to do is continue getting some of the legends back in the building, sharing stories, helping these guys. Really, really an honor and a privilege to be on this stage here today and also being able to share with my teammates, my ex-teammates.
The P2 effect still bringing people together.
P2 effect is real. We didn't have a pick while I was at home sitting on the couch. As soon as I step on the field, we get a pick second drive. You tell me something.
You mentioned that you and Mr. Bidwell had a talk and squashed some things. And, what were some of the things you guys talked about? What was your beef when you left your path?
I'm always up for a contract negotiation.
I just want to apologize to everybody for asking for that trade in the middle of the season. I'm here to stay, baby.
Where's Steve Hahn? Still running for me.
I've been told a lot of things about me with the other organization.
Stop running. Stop running. Said you was going to call me back.
Saying that I can't tackle. I'm old, I lost it. So I wanted to show them that. I know there's a lot of things, said, and, it wasn't the greatest departure.
What's your message to fans?
No, it's really, all that stuff is behind us now. The biggest thing that I want to relate to the fans is that, I loved it here. I love you guys. I always wanted to put forth my best foot. Always wanted to put my best foot forward each and every time I stepped out on the field. I wanted to represent not only myself well, but the Arizona Cardinals community and the organization the best possible way that I can. So I'm sorry if I hurt any feelings on my departure. I hope all is well now. Me and Mr. Bidwell had a great conversation. All of that stuff is behind us. Looking forward to the future.
Welcome home, Pat.
Yes, sir.
Congrats, P2, and welcome back to the Valley. Coming up next on 12 Sports Locker Room Draft Special, we get more draft reaction from our friends with the PHNX Cardinals Podcast as they join the show. Welcome back to the 12 Sports Locker Room Draft Special. Let's get some more draft reaction from our friends with the PHNX Cardinals Podcast.
Johnny and Bo here, PHNX Cardinals recapping the 2025 NFL Draft for the Arizona Cardinals. And Bo, I can unequivocally say, despite picking in the middle of the first round throughout the duration of the draft, I think this is Monty Ossenfort's most complete, best value draft of his 3 years.
No doubt about it. I mean, what he was able to accomplish, I think, in the first 2 days of the draft made everything else easier. It was quality over quantity. Last year, he was making 12 picks, so many picks within the top 100, 7 of those last year, but just 3 of them this year. And man, I think you look for your general manager to hit, some extra base hits here.
Yeah.
Nearly hit a home run with each and every one of his first 3 picks. For sure, the first 2. Starting with Walter Nolan there, 16th overall. There was a lot of conversation as far as which direction they would go, but I think they absolutely took the right one.
Depending on who you talk to, Cardinals presumably had some combination of like Michael Williams, who went San Francisco at 11, and Walter Nolan is 2 of their top players available, and they got one of them at pick 16. And the value didn't stop from there. We're talking Walter Nolan at 16 all the way down to now Will Johnson, the cornerback standout out of Michigan, at 47. Somebody, Bo, that we had mocked throughout the course of the offseason to the Cardinals at 16. Of course, took a top 30 visit, close with the likes of Marvin Harrison Jr., was actually golfing with Marv early this offseason, wanted to come to Arizona. He did fall because of apparent medical concern long-term with his knees. Healthy right now. He says he's been healthy for 2 years. He projects, health permitting, as that CB1 dominant outside corner for the first time since Patrick Peterson.
Perfect scheme fit for Gannon and Rollis as far as this defense goes. And I thought you said it well on our show where you said if Will Johnson is healthy, this is a grand slam pick.
It's clear what the Cardinals are trying to do. They're loading up for a defensive-led football team in 2025. Lean into the strength of your head coach. They've got Nick Rollis, who we believe is a future head coach in this league. Subscribe to PHNX Cardinals today.
Bo and Johnny, appreciate the time, guys. All right, time for our last call next on 12 Sports Locker Room. We wrap up this draft special with some final thoughts from our crew, the 12 Sports crew. Also, what's up, Bird Gang? Hey, welcome back to the 12 Sports Locker Room Draft Special. Time we wrap things up with a 12 Sports Triple Threat. You got myself, Cam Cox, Lena Washington, Jake Fun Garcia joining us back with us here on the show. Jake, we'll start with you. What did you make of the draft?
I think it's a copycat league. The Eagles won the Super Bowl by basing their model on physicality in the trenches and then building outward. We have, a former Eagles coach in Jonathan Gannon. He brings in a former Eagles player, and then a bunch of guys from the Ohio State defense that won the national championship. The Eagles did the exact same thing with the Georgia defense at one point. So no one really knows anything when it comes to the draft. This could go a lot of different ways, but I think the Cardinals are on the right path.
Lena, it just seems like JG is building the defense that he wants, right?
Absolutely. He is salivating, ready to get to work with these guys. I'm
in the house
to see how they all come together, get to the quarterback, get those sacks, make those stops. It should be a fun run if they can all stay healthy. I know Nick Rollis is excited for the group he has coming in.
And I'm going to say this, I'm going to disagree with Mark and Doug, who we had on earlier. I think this team makes the playoffs. I didn't see too many glaring holes, guys, in the offseason. After they filled some on the defensive side. This defense is going to be really good. And you're not going to convince me otherwise unless something really changes this year. They got guys finally that can get after the quarterback. They can play the style that JG wants to play. Guys, I think we could all agree, though, this double downs on the offense, right? Kyler and those guys have to perform.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised they didn't take a wide receiver at any point in the draft because I do think you need someone else behind Marvin Harrison Jr. Maybe Trey McBride is that guy, but I'd like a little bit more speed on that offense.
This roster could still look different from now to training camp to game one of the season.
It could change by August, Lena?
I know.
We got time.
And we'll find out that schedule on May 14th. We cannot wait to learn where we'll be going and when.
Yeah, don't forget we'll be on the road with the Cardinals all year long. You know how we do it here on 12 Sports. We cannot wait for football season to get here. Look at that. The Bird Gang's so fired up for this year.
Chirp, chirp.
Chirp, chirp. We cannot wait. Thank you so much for watching the 12 Sports Locker Room Draft Special. Good night. God bless.